Hello everyone and welcome back to the Summit 3 presented by Gigabyte China. We're in phase 2 of qualifier action and we are in the lower bracket in a series matchup between Invictus Gaming taking on Hyper Glory Team. A best of 3 matchup and, well, we just witnessed a stomp. There's no other way to put it. Hyper Glory Team took it to IG. You know, maybe IG not too comfortable, tried something a bit different. Blaze and I were both kind of discussing the Shadow Demon pick and how comfortable maybe they were with it, but regardless, it was Hyper Glory Team all the way. So, well, without further ado, let's hop into game number 2 action here. I'm KotLGuy. I'm going to be joined again from Blaze remotely. Blaze, the sun is coming up and, well, we got some good Dota ahead of us here as IG are going to open up with a Wisp Chaos Knight, something they ran actually not that long ago. Before today, it was their last game against Newbie where they had the Wisp Chaos Knight, so this should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, most definitely. A bit of a sniper slayer if you can get in range for the Reality Rift, which Wisp should be able to set that up pretty well. There's a lot of potential for you to just bring that little guy down quickly before he has a chance to really disengage at all. But, of course, there's the Treant Protector. This guy did a lot of work last game as far as keeping his allies alive for an extended period of time, and those overgrowths are always threatening. It just means that you can't really disengage on your terms if the Treant's already waiting for you, and I was really impressed by how he was able to move on the map in general in Nature's Guise and catch people off guard left and right. So I think it's actually very understandable for HGT to just find the same opener, and we'll see if the change of pace for IG is going to be evening the odds a little bit.
Hyper Glory Team's Kaka has always seemed to impress me as a support, whether it's in the Wisp and now this Treant Protector. He definitely has been giving a lot to his team and making some big setup action, and IG maybe tantalizing them that possibly they could have got a Wisp for themselves, but they quickly snag it up. And you know, it's funny because maybe they know that Hyper Glory Team, if they'd done any sort of research, you know, they would have banned out CK as a possible option. It's just funny to see that they don't even hesitate. They're like, we're just going to get the Chaos Knight, where if this was any other team, any other kind of draft, you'd be like, well, you probably could have waited on that Chaos Knight. I don't think they're going to flat out ban it. Maybe they'd go for Tiny or something, but they're like, we're getting Chaos Knight. We're not waiting. We're just going to get it right now. And the first thing that pops out to me is Hyper Glory Team could possibly consider getting the Witch Doctor here. It works good against a Wisp. You know, the Cask able to easily bounce between him and his tether target. It works great with a Treant Protector on your team who locks everyone down so they can eat the most out of that Death Ward. So that's the first thing that pops out to me and something they consider. But for now, at least, they're going to get the Earthshaker. Now, in the last game, it was Westbrook who did play it, so it could be a bit of a reprise there. And, well, Blaze, speaking of reprise, it looks like we might get to see the Ferrari Queen of Pain once more.
Queen of Pain was the only thing that really went well for IG in Game 1, so I can understand why they bring that back and say, okay, round 2 Ferrari, you just do the same thing and everybody else will bring it back up to your level. So I think that has a lot of potential there. I mean, the Queen of Pain is great versus a sniper, as we saw when it's played well, and beyond that, it's not going to be caught out by anything like the Treant or the Earthshaker roaming. Like, you just can't kill Queen of Pain in that context. So, yeah, the Earthshaker in the off lane worked out pretty well, and I think it'll probably be a similar situation, maybe a slightly slower Blink Dagger, but the interesting pickup here is going to be the Disruptor. You were talking about the potential of the Witch Doctor. I like that idea in general, but the one thing to mention is Chaos Knight and how important it is to kill off those illusions. The Phantasms do an insane amount of damage, but they do also take double damage, so that's important for them to kind of AoE those things down, and Witch Doctor doesn't necessarily have that. And when you get the Death Ward, you can hit for 5 targets with that particular, but it's going to be bouncing to the illusions instead of the heroes, and then you're still not accomplishing your key objectives. So I like the Disruptor just being able to lock in those illusions with the kinetic static, and if you lock them in Overgrowth plus that combo, like, you buy yourself a ton of time.
Yeah, you get to lock them all in place, plus there's the obvious glimpse to Wisp the hell back wherever he came from, or break back whoever he brought in, and, you know, no real surprise. And what many consider a support who is very underrated. He hasn't really received a nerf in recent history. He continues to get buffs over and over again, and one of his most recent changes was, you know, Glimpse's mana has been turned down a bit, which makes things a lot easier. I mean, the range on the Glimpse has already been ridiculous, and he just offers so much utility in this kind of a game. And well, look at this. We're going to get the Brood Mama to pop up as the 4th pick for IG here, so I'm anticipating the Luo Brood. And as far as answers for Brood, they have Earthshaker, so it is somewhat ballsy to be playing a Brood into an Earthshaker, you know, unless you feel pretty comfortable with your, you know, Broodlings micromanagement, so you don't get yourself into too much trouble there. But now Hyper Glory Team had the advantage of still picking up their 5th and final grab, which I anticipate would be the grab for ZSMJ. I wonder if this Broodmother could influence it at all in something that they could get here. I'm trying to think of anything that maybe he's ran as of recent that could work really well. It looks like maybe a Bristleback is something he's put in a core position that could help out, but you do have to also consider the Chaos Knight. And oh, you're right, it was already banned out preemptively, so smart ban, I guess.
Shadow Fiend seems like the pick to me. Like in this position, you have to deal with those spiders early on, and the raises seem to be the best way to do it. So I would say Shadow Fiend is pretty much the pick, unless they rotate the Earthshaker down. Earthshaker in the offlane isn't going to see a spider for the first half of the game. He's just not going to be able to use his AoE against them. But if you put an offlane Treant and a support Earthshaker, obviously completely different roles than what they want, then you would be able to manage the Brood a little bit better, and you don't have to go for an AoE carry. So that's the question is, are they willing to make that swap, or are they going to actually pick up AoE spells for their carry? SF is still pretty strong, but kind of weak to IOCK Queen of Pain. Like, you think about the nukes coming out from them, the Sonic Wave, the quick Chaos Bolt and right clicks. Slark, he's going to kind of meet them in the middle a little bit, and maybe the Dark Pact will do enough work.
All right, well, we'll have to see what IG will go for here for the secondary support. Obviously, Hyper Glory Team did their bit of research, banning out the Lich, which is what they had as their secondary support the last time, but it is going to be the Dazzle, and, well, that heal could be pretty nice between all the Chaos Illusions that could bring out some serious damage where you don't really expect it. You get even bonus to the armor department there when you're on a side that kind of needs to be going against and sneaking in a Roche from time to time. Good defensive grab right here from Faith. He's going to be stepping away from the Shadow Demon, which, you know, we don't know if he was too comfortable with, and now picking up the Dazzle, which we know he has played before, and we know a lot of players, you know, kind of feel comfortable with overall. So there it is, our 5-man matchup here. Blaze, any last thoughts for IG, grabbing up the Dazzle there at the end?
I mean, you're going to have the Shallow Grave to keep your heroes alive against Slark and Sniper a little bit longer. That's going to be nice. You're going to be always getting some good spells out. Like the Queen of Pain's never going to die without using her ultimate or anything like that. Just surviving in the fight means that you don't have to necessarily buy a mechanism really early on. But really, for me, it all comes down to how the bottom lane plays out. Lil has got to make space to build up very early on, and he has to micro perfectly to avoid the damage from the Thunderstrike, to not feed away the spiders to the Dark Pact. If he can do that and get 1 or 2 kills on the supports, then he's going to be feeling really good as far as creating space for Ferrari and for Burning to get big. And it doesn't take long before Chaos Knight is a very real threat. Those just Wisp and CK ganking around level 6, and they're going to be generating a lot more kills. So I am lagging, so I'm going to go reconnect, and I guess you can go for the introductions.
Thanks. And, yeah, Perfect World, it does that sometimes. It might even happen to me occasionally. But here we go, folks. It's going to be our second game here of this best-of-3 series between Hyper Glory Team and IG. Hyper Glory Team up 1 game already. So it's elimination time here for IG unless they're able to string together a win. And, well, we'll get introductions underway. Hyper Glory Team, also known as Hearts Get Together. We got KotLGuy, who's going to be playing again, your Treant Protector support. Pretty Ha's going to be on the Disruptor this go-around. He's got a Sharky-looking Manatee mount to go along with his Sharky friend ZSMJ on the Slark. Air is going to be on the Sniper once more, and Westbrook again is going to be playing the Earthshaker here. This time it looks like he's actually going to be rolling with a solo safe lane, and they might go possibly aggro here. So a nice little change up here for them. On the other side, we got Invictus Gaming, your TI2 champions, now with a sort of a new rejuvenated roster, as they have Chuan, who's going to be playing the Wisp. Close but not far, we got Faith, who's going to be playing your support Dazzle. Burning is on the Chaos Knight. Along the bottom, we're going to have Lulo and your off-lane Broodmother. And up and above, we got Ferrari. He's going to be playing a safe lane Queen of Pain. So a little bit of a change up from both sides here. They're going to be rolling with the CK Wisp dual lane here, going toe-to-toe against the Sniper. This could actually prove to be a little bit difficult here for Air in the mid lane. We'll have to see.
Yeah, not ideal for sure. The ability for them to, at level 2, maybe get a kill. They're going to go level 1. They get the 2-second stun and the slow. Air's going to take a big hit. I mean, that's a lot of HP to chew through. That is at least 2 tangos, maybe living armor. That's painful. KotLGuy's going to have to pretty much full babysit him, and even then he can't trade.
Yeah, that's not good. He's only started off with 4 tangos and a couple of shared, but you don't want to have to be chewing through those too quick. And now you're forced to kind of have a babysitter by your side, and it turns into a dual-on-dual matchup. XP isn't really going to be shared to your liking, but sometimes you just got to do what you can to withstand what looks like some early aggression coming out from IG here. And now we have Luo here on the bottom lane. A rotation in from ZSMJ back to the lane, and it doesn't look like they have really any sentries on hand. They did use, oh no, that's not a sentry from their side. They blocked out the pull camp there, but no sentries on hand. Luo might have a pretty swell time on his Broodmother to get to that level 3 and get a soul ring pretty prompt. And that is when you have a problem with your Broodmother.
I'm not sure if he would have fared much better up on the top lane, to be honest with you, but it just seems like no matter where he goes, he's going to have a few issues, and yeah, Faith is going to follow him. He just says, screw it, I'll go ahead and just hunt down the Slurk. The poor man's shield does a lot of work blocking out the Shadow Wave, but it's still like hitting on all the spiders there right next to the Slurk, and it does bring a bit of pain. Mid lane, though, it's going to be Chuan. Last punch from KotLGuy. He's going down, and Burning is kind of caught out a little bit. It is going to be the Fisher, and not just blocking his path, not stunning him out, but either way, he's a long way from home.
Yeah, he has to go up and around now. He's trying his best, but he sees air. If he can get him on the way out, no! So, there's a tease coming out from air right there. I mean, I understand it was one auto attack away from finishing off that pesky little sniper, but their over-aggression proves to be a bit of a problem as they do lose Chuan on the backside. Just KotLGuy persistent with punching him down with that ridiculously big base damage. He's got about 91 right now. And it's Hyperglory team who end up pulling me out big, taking down both mid laners there. And yeah, the bottom lane, I do like the rotation for Faith. Now you get the pleasure of the Broodling Dazzle Bomb with the heal. But yeah, as you already pointed out, and as Merlini pointed out in his recent video, the mitigation from your physical damage, whether it's something like the heal coming out from Dazzle or just your basic auto attack, is going to be nerfed down a bit with your poor man's shield. But it's still aggression that ZSMJ is going to not be too comfortable with. He'll try to work with the under tower CS as it is, but still you're seeing a couple of rotations fly from both sides, and now it's suddenly Westbrook going to be going toe-to-toe with Ferrari at the top lane.
Going again. They get the Reality Rip and the Tether Slow onto air. Huge kill if they can finish it, but that damn Leech Seed keeps them alive for so long. The last right click is not enough, and KotLGuy gets the return.
It's Chuan going down again. Just the Shrapnel, just the Leech Seed, and that Living Armor really helping out Air, gets him back and away, and KotLGuy has just been playing so good. He played great in Game 1, and now he's doing a nice job being like the guardian angel here for Air in the mid lane. And he's quickly come up with 2 kills onto Chuan, so he's got Arcane Boots already. He's level 3, about to get level 4, but mana is now not a problem for him, and this is a nice promising start once more for Hyperglory team as they're already up 3-0. Bottom lane, though, get some good damage from the heal there on the ZSMJ, plus the slow from the poison. They're moving forward, and they get him down with the help of the nuke coming out from Luo. Now he considers going toe-to-toe against Pretty Ha. There's a Thunderstrike, a glimpse back towards the tower. One more auto attack, and he can't get it. He goes down, and Broodmother gets that one. All right, blood across the map.
That was a really good bait. Yeah, Luo, he stood in tower range the whole time. He knew he was going to be taking some hits there, but the longer that he's taking those hits and dishing them back out, the more time the spiders have to keep their poison up and keep Faith in for the next Shadow Wave. They played him like a book, or read him like a book, rather. And yeah, ZSMJ now in a really tough spot. Like, to try to actually break into like 20 CS, it's going to take a long time for him because he's just had so much pressure coming out from the Brood Dazzle combo. It's actually really good that mid lane is working out as well as it is for HGT, because if it wasn't, they'd actually have pretty much lost all 3 lanes.
Yeah, well, you're certainly right on that. And being able to take it to IG and the bread and butter of their lineup between the Wisp CK is the best. But now they're making it go again on the ZSMJ. Very aggressive as they move way past the tower. A tethered up Brood here with Chuan. They get the slow, they get the heal, which is huge damage, and they get the kill. Suddenly Luo is 3-0 now on his Broodmother. He has just swarmed over this bottom lane. They already got the tower down, and they're just taking absolute control down here.
Mid, though, Burning is going to take a big hit. They are able to combo up with the Leech Seed, the slow from Shrapnel, and just the right-click damage with the Thunderstrike. It's going to be another kill against the Chaos 9 and Burning. He's just had a really rough match. Overall, it's hard to keep your head in the game fully focused when you're under this much pressure, but at least bottom is just doing so well for IG. Like, they're killing off the Slark multiple times over, they're taking the tower, and as mentioned before, Ferrari, I mean, it's 1v1 against an Earthshaker. It's not a hard matchup for him.
Yeah, he's doing just fine here on this Queen of Pain. And he's level 6 now, hasn't really yet to worry about rotating too much, though he does have the TP now ready, and that Sonic Wave could be trouble in mid lane. They're going to make the go. They get the Reality Rift to bring back air, and he does get the living armor. Help is on the way in the form of Pretty Hot. They get the glimpse to send Ferrari back, but it's too late. He already dishes out the Sonic Wave, and he gets the job done. It's just like a free return back to lane to farm on up almost. And Westbrook, who wants to get the rune. Oh, he doesn't get it. Now he's in trouble. They get the rift onto him. They pull him back, and he is done for. It is a quick 3-man drop, as they also got, bottom lane as well. Ridiculous. IG now on the serious comeback. It started as, what, 4-0, I think, or 3-0, and suddenly it's 6-4 now, as IG are getting the best of all 3 lanes.
One big aspect of Treant's early game weaknesses is the cooldown on living armor. You want to help every single fight. You want living armor to be the deciding factor in each and every one, and then everything happens back to back to back. Out of the 3 fights we just saw, only 1 living armor came out, and it's just not enough to keep anybody alive. I mean, SMJ again dropping down below half HP. Like, he is just food for the slaughter. We do see a Fisher coming out, Faith in a bad spot, but the heal bomb, and Westbrook's gonna go down.
Unbelievable. Now he gets the grave on himself. He should end up going down, as he doesn't have a TP or anything to get away, but still, to be able to even get Westbrook right there is huge. ZSMJ's constantly pressured. The second he shows up in the lane, they make it count. Back at mid lane now, we see Chuan able to slip away towards burning. Kaka is there, but they actually consider making a go, and he quickly goes up to the Nature's Guy. There's Pretty Hot. Glimpses back Chuan. They could get him. That slow attack even. Kaka can't even hit him, but they are able to bring both supports down. A 1-for-1 support trade. Air now could be pressured as the Broodlings start crawling on through to slow him down. Burning is moving on forward. He has the stun, level 3, and, well, he'll pull back. Man, this game is turning into quite the bloodshed now. 8-6 at only 7 minutes in.
Yeah, and I mean, now we finally see Slurk picking up his ultimate, so hopefully he'll be able to avoid future deaths. He's got to actually be outplayed at this point in time. Before, just Zeus MJ being on the lane was a free kill, but now it's got to be them really like blocking pounces and doing some really tricky stuff. But Earthshaker, being annoying to Ferrari, not really gonna stop his resolve, as he's still got some tangos from the laning phase. Like, he had just got a complete lack of opposition up top, and this just makes their lineup feel really strong. I mean, Chaos Knight is not gonna go for his Phantasm at 6, so he still doesn't have that much physical output, but they already have so much magical damage that they're not really lacking in output. Well, Ferrari, even with the heals from Chuan,
oh my lord!
Chuan's magic stick keeps Ferrari alive, and he just blows them all to bits.
Unbelievable.
Oh, that is incredible.
Chuan sneaks in through the secret shop, and as you pointed out, he has the wand and the bottle ready to go, and they just quickly turn it right back over on their asses and gets a huge sonic wave that annihilates the 2 of them. Both supports go down. It looks like the tier 2 bottom lane will also go down here. Luo has been stellar on his Broodmother. He's actually almost level 8.5 at about 9 minutes in. He's got his medallion. He's got 2,100 gold. I mean, we'll have to see if he goes for a Necro Book, an Orchid, or what have you. Maybe just even a Midas at this point wouldn't be too shabby, but now he turns his attention towards the mid lane. After cleaning those two towers up, he's going to put pressure here. Air eats a little bit of damage. He's going to have to get saved from the Nature's Guys now. But they still somehow see him. Now they're looking to make a go on to Faith. Glimpse is there. They pull him back. They get him in. The Kinetic Field will lock him in place. And, well, he's able to hold on a bit with the Shallow Grave. But here comes Burning side by side with Chuan. They got Luo here as well. They're going to bring down Air potentially. He is going to be put under Nature's Guys. Healed up, but Ferrari gets him with the Scream. Chuan will end up being the return kill. Pretty Hot, very low. Able to slip out. And now they could get Kaka. Oh, God. Barely alive with the nuke right there. Here comes CSMJ. Now he's going to get knocked in the noggin with a stun. They dish out the Kinetic Field. They're going absolutely crazy in a Royal Rumble in this mid lane. Double kill for ZSMJ. He gets the grab onto then Ferrari. Then Luo takes down Westbrook. Now could get ZSMJ here. One more auto attack. Got him. Gets him with the nuke there at the end. Double kill for Luo. Holy moly. It's just all over the place. And now he's going for a dag and get up as well. So when we look at the fight recap, it ends up being a 4-for-4 trade. The net worth and XP advantage does go towards Hyper Glory team, but IG have just brought in their boxing gloves for game 2.
Yeah, this has just become a real girthy rumble here. Bottom, mid lane, anywhere they have to take it to them, it's just been insane. And Luo and Ferrari were able to put out so much damage in those fights, just scream of pain after scream of pain. And Broodmother, they're sitting at full HP. Like, she's happy to just keep it going. There was a crazy path block from the neutral creeps that actually meant that led to Slark's death. He could have just ran home to the west, but he got blocked out by a centaur that's just kind of wandering into no man's land, and suddenly Luo gets another kill. It's just insane for him. Dagon 1-up. I'm probably going to go for that kind of Dagon 5 Ethereal Blade build, and I don't blame them. Like, they have so much momentum. They're going now Medallion onto Roche, heal bombs from Faith. He's obviously maxed the Shadow Wave. This is the combo, and it's been doing work. It kind of falls a little flat against the Slark because you lose already a quarter of your damage just from the 4-man shield. But it did a lot of work against the sniper. But looks like HGT will at least prevent this attempt.
Yeah, they're looking to contest here. The Roche has been brought down to about a quarter of its life already. Oh my, the damage. Pretty Haw's like dead. Sonic Wave cleans him up, and here comes Burning in from the high road. Able to get the pullback on the Westbrook. He's going to go down immediately. ZSMJ to follow. It's a slaughter right here. IG, move on through. They've already brought down 4. They already see air. There's going to be the committed jump. It's a 5-man wipe and an easy Roche to follow here from IG. Game 1, we questioned what was happening with IG, but game 2, they're ready. They shook it off, and they look so good. These heal bombs, it's ridiculous.
It's just absolutely insane. I love this combo, and it is just doing some incredible work for them. It was also perfect that they got the Disruptor done when they did, because otherwise he would have glimpsed back either the Wisp or the CK. Instead, they both stay in the fight, and they just tear them to pieces. They kill off the Disruptor, they just rout everybody else at post-relocate, and it's just catastrophic for HGT. We're seeing a complete flip side of what we saw last game. At least HGT have some kills under their belt. Obviously, Treant was able to nab 4 himself in that landing phase against the Wisp, but all in all, they are backs against the wall, and Luo is just going to be continuing to dominate, though he is caught out now.
This could be a big bounty if they get him. He's 8-0 right now. He might get Kaka. No, he can't get it. He can't get it. He goes down. It's going to be ZSMJ also, of all people, to pick up that bit of bounty. You can see plus 659, plus a little bit of extra something other. I mean, looking at the fight recap, just look at it. 2,200, near 2,300 XP, and about the same with gold. So,
yeah, he almost got 1,000 gold from that kill.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Huge for him.
Well, of all the people to get it to, it's the Slark who desperately needs it, trying to build up what looks like the mobility item, but this isn't your typical Slark game where you have the luxury of getting a free lane to farm. You get a nice quick Midas, and then you can go for either your Blink or Shadow Blade. He has had a bit of a hard time here. He was matched up against that Broodmother in the bottom lane, struggled quite a bit. He even got picked off like 2 or 3 times, but he's trying to find the path to recovery. And, well, you could say the same now for Burning, as after getting just some pretty basic inventory of braces and some boots, now he grabs the Midas to try to really get back into the game.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting pickup, but when you consider how great Phantasm level 3 is, the fact that you can get that huge burst of 3 to 4 Phantasms, like, you can do crazy amounts of damage with that, and yeah, it has been a very active game. The one biggest weakness of Chaos Knight is that he can't farm as quickly as agility heroes. Like, he's pretty quick on his feet, good movement speed, but he's mostly kill-oriented because he just doesn't have the ability to flash farm. So getting this Midas allows him to do a little bit of both. He can still be ready for every relocate fight, but he's getting consistent, reliable gold, and that's a key thing for them. Now some D-warding coming out from the side of IG. How do they control their own jungle when they can't keep a single ward down?
It's just crazy. IG in a comfortable spot, as well as they still have the Aegis here in Ferrari, who went right for that sheep stick even. This is a big tool to grab this early, and it looks like they might be eyeballing this mid lane, though. Hyperglory team got to be onto it. They see that the wards were taken down. They know that they're going to be in the dark, especially on the southern part of the map, and they don't want to be caught out of position. But this is more time for Air to be kind of stuck waiting, not really farming. He's a sniper. He needs to get farmed, but the second he inches towards the lane, here come the Broodlings. They trap him actually inside the corner where a Sonic Wave comes on through from Ferrari, and now comes Tron and Burning. Could get the Reality Rift, will do so. They try to stop him with the Overgrowth here, but it's not. They get down 2 mid lane. They're looking to go on to Faith, who gets the Shallow Grave. They take Westbrook down, and now it's ZSMJ trying to fight and get some redemption. He is able to bring down Faith, but he's going to go down there next. Quickly, a triple kill for Luo after he was just brought down, and now they're going to get Kaka. He's spotted out. He's taken down. Another 5-man wipe. where all of Hyperglory team just get decimated. IG only lose their Dazzle. They're going to be picking up a mid lane tier 1, and we're on the verge of seeing a pretty early game number 3, Blaze, if this keeps up.
Yeah, it's just incredible what IG can do when they are gaining momentum and just playing on their A game. I mean, the Dazzle, like, think just how much he's been distracting HGT throughout these fights. They try to kill him, he drops down to 10% HP, shallow grave, no problem, survives for another 5 seconds, and then they have to bring him down. Meanwhile, you're getting tons of nukes coming out from Ferrari. The Brood Mother's doing crazy work. Now Burning's actually coming online, and things are just looking bad for HGT. It will be the glimpse back, so H just pops on Queen of Pain, but she's coming back up with a Hex. I think they want to fight it.
Yeah, they got an Overgrowth waiting for him. They got him down. Schwann's there. He's trying his desperate best to heal him all up. Doesn't have relocated. It's still on cooldown. ZSMJ looking to finish off Schwann, but Kaka's going to also go down to both Luo and Burning. Ends up being a two for one trade right now, and it looks like IG are going to pull back with that, but okay. They are able to get the catch, and yeah, that was also through the Aegis. So it's 2 lives they brought down from Ferrari there, and they get the Wisp. So a little bit of something there for Hyperglory team, but sure enough, IG, they're able to walk away with that tier 2 tower as well. So it's not like they just lose out on everything. They get a bit of gold rather in their purse.
Yeah, just a tough position to fight from, to be honest. They got a really good catch out with that glimpse and bringing him back where he fell. If he was able to be picked off by the assassinate far further into the jungle, there's no way that HGT can take that fight further. But because he got glimpsed back right when the kill was happening, they're able to get the follow-up on that, and that's really nice. So positioning error perhaps by Ferrari, but still looking so good. I mean, when's the last time you saw like a 13-minute Hex come out for anybody, let alone Queen of Pain? Like, you used to see the crazy greedy Nature's Prophet builds. Oh, action actually.
Faith, he gets the weave down, he gets the grave off, which is enough for him for now. Gets the heal and a quick Dagon pop in there from Luo. Gets the kill onto ZSMJ. A well-worthy trade for them, and they're going to get pretty hot here. Set up with the sheep. He's quickly turned into a Broodling army right now as Luo gets the quick snipe and a double kill for him. They move on ahead. They see air. They annihilate him. They get the Sonic Wave and the Scream. Here comes Kaka on the return. Buybacks come out, 2 of them here. And, I mean, Hyperglory team, they're just reaching as hard as they can to get something back for themselves. They are able to get the glimpses. They bring back Luo. They could take this spider down. They do get him. All right, so another small bounty back in their favor as it's being a 2-for-1 trade. Actually, no, because when you factor in the buybacks, it's a 3-for-2 and 2 buybacks. I don't know, man. Was it worth it there for Hyperglory team to buy back and just get those couple of kills?
Yeah, I mean, considering the alternative is just a straight-up loss for them, losing 3 heroes and not getting anything in return, I gotta say it was worth using the buybacks, but you can't call that an overall victory by any stretch. Like, even with the comeback golden experience, it's still a loss for them that they just kind of mitigated their loss with the buyback play and the return kill and the Brood. In the end, the Brood's still getting huge. She's gonna have her Dagon 5, and it's just gonna get pretty disastrous from that point forward, but they're trying. They got the Shadow Blade out on ZSMJ. Maybe he makes a play on like the Wisp if he can find him out by himself. He doesn't have the mechanism just yet, so that's probably the only kill you can really find, and that assumes that he doesn't have anybody to tether to. So ideals, but you know, you got to reach for the perfect opportunity if you're going to be able to pull yourself out of this kind of deficit.
14K net worth of a deficit. Plus, that doesn't even really factor in the buybacks that Hyperglory team had to pull out right there as well. But hey, this might be a quick pick from ZSMJ. Scouts out Schwann, and well, he can't get him. In fact, he's just going to have to TP back home, it looks like. Not really risking hanging around too long, but Schwann thankful that he gets to, you know, live. Bit awkward right there, but Schwann makes it away, and ZSMJ doesn't want to risk getting caught out too much. And well, we'll see.
I didn't really see that fully. Did he just not do enough burst damage initially, and then he's like, if I stick around for 2 more seconds, he's probably tethering away, and I'm probably dying?
That's how it felt. I mean, he led in with a Shadow Blade, got the pounce, got the Dark Pack, but I guess it just wasn't fast enough for him. I mean, Schwann is somewhat tanky. He has a headdress and urn, but yeah, I guess he just couldn't quite get the job done and didn't want to risk overstaying his welcome. He hits it out of there. So.
DPS check, he just decides, okay, test the damage out, see if it's actually able to get a pick off. And unfortunately, the next item he picks up won't actually enable that kill, because by that time the Wisp is going to have a mechanism, and that's just going to be even more difficult. Now, Armlet up for CK, the best item on this hero, 100%. You have to have this item in your build to play the Chaos Knight properly, and yeah, it's going to be devastating once he can actually activate that with the Phantasm.
And in the meantime, they're just going to continue to starve Hyper Glory Team of their farm. I mean, they're all congregated here together. The supports can't really go out too far to find their own bits of farm. Their jungle has been pretty much claimed here from Luo, not allowing them to kind of easily walk through, as Ferrari's going to be able to easy farm this bottom lane and probably take the jungle if he wants. Faith seems to be on Roche watch, and you know, for Burning, he's had his full jungle to work with without contention. He has an armlet all of a sudden, and Chuan's just going to be there by his side, just in case something does break out. He can kind of relocate him in. So you're seeing Hyper Glory Team just trying to find a way to get themselves back in, and it looks like their first step is move through the IG woods, but they're not going to find anyone.
Yeah, it was already pinged out defensively. IG are not going to be in that territory whatsoever. It will be a top tier 1 kill for Hyper Glory Team, and most likely a Roche for IG. It's about to spawn here. I'm sure Faith will be checking out in just a second, and when they see that opportunity, they'll be happy to trade tier 1 for that.
Yep, seconds now. In fact, it's going to pop up here right now, and I would imagine they'll just be going right for it when they can. This is Hyper Glory Team as well on the top. They're just trying to get their first tower of the game even on this tier 1, and they have a sniper out, and maybe they're looking to make a fight turnaround, but they have pressure already coming their way in this bottom lane, and without really any more outer towers with the exception of this top tier 2, it's going to be a high ground defense, so they have to consider stepping back. And well, we see Luo suddenly has Dagon 5. The last time I checked on him, he had a Dagon 2, but suddenly 3 more levels on top of that. And that is going to make quick work. We'll look over the supports here. You know, 1100. Sniper only has 1k life. Disruptor, not even that. 1 Sonic Wave, 1 Dagon, they're dead. So,
yeah,
this is going to be a hard game for them to be sure that they're not going to be caught in the crosshairs of a big burst like that. But here they get Roche. They're going to move in, and they should get it relatively easy.
Yeah, no problem at all. I mean, you've got the spiders all on top of the logo. Comes in for the in-cap bite, but yeah, it's already dead with the medallion. And that's going to be Aegis 2 Ferrari, actually, and I think that's actually a pretty good choice. Obviously, it didn't work out for them very well last time, but just in general, I think this is a hero that can do so much if he gets to have that second mana pool, as well as just more spam potential. Aghanim Scepter is going to be not the choice for Ferrari, as he goes for BKB after his Hex. So this is a very present tense item. He's looking to end the game here and now because they can. They are fully capable of taking the high ground at this point in time, as long as they wait off the Shrapnel and Fissures. And at that point, oh, or just find a pick off. That works too.
I mean, they have pretty aggressive sentry wards down for situations like that. Ferrari blinks forward, gets the sheep on air, but obviously a little too far. And they get the glimpse back, and there's no follow-up there. Just a little bit of footsie from both sides. No real over-diving commitment, but I have to agree with you. I mean, with a BKB grab right now, he's got full 10 seconds of it to work with, and Aegis on hand. There's no reason that IG can't consider making a big push happen. And I mean, they have Burning, who could be relocated in. He's got his Phantasm, which is up to level 2 now, so he could have a sudden swarm of horsemen to be able to easily siege the base. And with those kind of clones and horsemen, it's not that hard to even break into the high ground. You can lead them in first and foremost and kind of, you know, force Hyper Glory Team to be in an uncomfortable spot. But okay, they get a nice echo. They quickly take down Faith. Dagon does fly. They do big damage onto Westbrook. But now Luo's in trouble, and he will go down. Ferrari trying to get a bit of redemption here. Thinking out once with the Sonic Wave. Gets him right there, but he's got to go. You're right. He does step back and get away, and it's going to be Hyper Glory Team who come out with 2, and they don't lose anyone.
The reason that worked out is because actually Slark found a pickoff just above the top rune on the Wisp there. Wisp tried to relocate out defensively to try to avoid it, but again, he didn't have that mechanism in time. This time Slark realizes he does have the burst damage if he executes perfectly, and he had that Yasha. So just a little bit of extra damage beyond what we saw the last time he attempted that Wisp kill. He gets the kill on Chuan before that mech comes out, and that prevents Chaos Knight from being in the fight. You kill the Wisp, that means the Chaos Knight is stranded away from the action, and that's what allowed them to just go on mid so cleanly. So they take the kill on the Broodmother, they force Ferrari's 10-second BKB, and that's going to be some forward momentum for them. So really just need to keep that kind of action up. The problem is Chuan's going to pick up this mechanism in just 200 gold, and then that play won't be working anymore.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They're probably going to look for him to get that mech. He's so close to it already. I mean, about 200 gold away, and then having that kind of a tool would certainly help out when they do decide to make that big push happen. I'm also curious as far as what Burning's next item is going to be. He's got about 2,500 gold. Is he just going to go right for a BKB? I mean, Chaos Knight benefits a lot from this, the stats alone on the item, but Obviously, the utility of it could be pretty useful this game. Or does he go for something else to add even more on top of his Phantasm?
Manta or Heart are the two items that I would go in this situation. Like, you can break out of Overgrowth pretty easily with the Manta. You'll still be frustrated by the Kinetic Field or Static Storm if you get caught in that. But if you position well against that, then all you have to worry about is the Overgrowth. So yeah, I would say Manta or Heart. That way your illusions are either more plentiful or more potent.
We'll see if that's going to be the case. He's certainly putting together a lot of gold towards it if that's the case, as he could just continue to farm and wait for Chuan to decide when it's the right time to kind of go in and make a play happen. And for the rest of their squad, they still have Luo.
Hey. Of course. Of course, that's the item. We're talking BKBs and Manta Styles, and he's like, yeah, let's go Shadowblade. Let's just throw both our opposition and the casters off guard.
Yeah, Burning, I know he loves the Shadowblade, on Jug, on whoever, he seems to always go for it. You don't see it very often on a Chaos Night, but who are we to judge?
It gives the illusions nothing, by the way. They don't get a single shot of these stats.
That's pretty interesting, but he's Burning, and we're just a couple of casters, and he's a legend for a reason.
Surprise factor. It really is just trying to catch him off guard. This gem, though, has been on the field for quite some time. KotLGuy has been nursing this thing. It hasn't really come into play other than forcing Luo to play more passively. Like, the reason that Bro's killing spree concluded is not just because he got picked off once or twice. It's because he is worried about being scouted out by the Gem of True Sight. It's essentially sentry wards everywhere against him. So yeah, now with the Shadowblade up against the gem, I'll question it, but I don't think it's going to cost them their advantage. They still have a hell of a game behind them, and probably only one more roast cycle to go before they close this one out.
Yeah, and if it proves to be worth using it to get a quick pick, that could easily allow them to segue into a push and then sudden racks, and then suddenly, the item looks like a god pickup right there. But we'll have to see if that kind of opportunity would present itself. Touching base with HyperGlory team side and their itemization, it's not really a surprise to be seeing Air go for the Maelstrom kind of get up. There's just a lot of pressure coming their way if you want to be dealing with the Broodlings, and just some way to kind of keep that pressure back. It's able to easily help clear out those creep waves. You get the bit of damage, you get the attack speed, but he'll certainly need to get a lot more farm, though, if he wants to be able to be that kind of farm. But all right, what's happening?
CSMJ is putting out an anti-Tinker ward at the top of the map. He's Shadowbladed into the trees. They didn't see him here, and then he puts this ward out. He's just looking for a pick. He's just looking and hunting for Chuan. That mechanism, again, is probably going to thwart his endeavors, but it's still such a cheeky play.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting grab. I mean, once he leaves this, it doesn't really give a lot of vision in the lane itself.
Well, they just got the intel on Chuan. They know those two are up top, and they say, okay, we'll smoke them. So, I mean, they set up a 2v5 essentially with that.
Oh, but he gets a tether onto Burning, and this pick doesn't come so easy. Fissure not going to catch either. Chuan heals up. There's going to be the glimpse. They pull him all the way back, and this time, Chuan, you're not going anywhere. But that is a lot of fatigue just to get down a Wisp. I mean, they have everyone involved for this one, and they'll just take any little pick they can and try to just get more and more gold their way. That's a 1K net worth swing just for that alone, and about 12K for XP. Wow. So that just kind of goes to show the advantage that IG have already had this game.
Yeah, but meantime, Luo's farming up stack after stack of Ancients. He's going to have his Z-Blade in no time, and I mean, he can probably put the spiders out on the tower without trouble, but he's worried about feeding more there.
Burning in his Shadowblade. He ends up getting caught with the Echo, but he's still got play to life. But here comes ZSMJ like a bat out of hell, leaping on in, and they get the kill on the Burning. They take him out now for a minute. We'll have buyback, of course. We'll not probably need to need it, obviously. But here's Ferrari. He scouts up pretty high. Uh-oh, pretty high. Yeah, you put yourself into a Deathwalker right there. Does get the glimpse back, but it doesn't really matter. Chuan's going to relocate in to kind of, be there as a presence. But it is a one-for-one trade, one that HyperGlory team do get the advantage of. And unfortunately, your big Shadowblade debut there, Burning, isn't going to be too successful. Here we go. They might get Faith as well. They do. CSMJ gets a pick right there, and suddenly he has a killing spree on his Slark. He's 8-7-6 in a game that looked like it was just all IG all day.
Alrighty, so we do have a game on our hands. As long as they can hold on to the Gem of True Sight on the side of HGT, they probably have some confidence playing defensively. We're just going to be seeing them build up a lot off of that. I mean, BKB, like, Air was a first item BKB sniper. He had Aquila, Phase Boots, Magic Wand, and BKB. You never want to be in that position, but not having to use it, it's like he picked it up as his third or fourth item. It's just, as long as you reserve the charges, it's fine. And now he's got Maelstrom, Mask of Menace. He actually has damage to back that up. So, yeah, he's suddenly, just because of how successful these ganks and fights have occurred, he's actually at a respectable item progression, and eventually CSMJ is going to get there too. He's not that far off of Scotty, maybe 1,1400 gold, and he'll have that complete. And at that point in time, they really only have to worry about this Chaos Knight and his late game scalability.
These like supports and the backstaff here from HyperGlory team are suddenly putting some items together. We got Westbrook here with the BKB. Air has to use his own. They do make a blink and jump, get the fissure on the Luo, and they're going to get him killed. Nice quick grab. Here comes Chuan and Burning. No glimpse has been used to send either of them back, though. Ferrari, rather, moves in. BKB pop. They're able to bring down Kaka. That's your gem on the deck. And I don't know who was able to pick it up. It's actually still there. They get the Reality Rift to pull back that Disruptor. They take him down. Faith's going to pick up that gem. And, oh, HyperGlory team, who look like they could eventually, you know, crawl themselves back into this game. And they hand over a pretty penny right there. They take down both supports. Their gem is now going to be handed over to IG. And it looks like IG might be able to add some pressure here at the top lane.
Real point of frustration is that Burning doesn't get to do any tower damage with these illusions. Backdoor protection prevents pretty much everything. Now, the last few seconds.
Oh, what a dunk! Using those illusions right back onto Burning. He is going to get graved up. He's going for ZSMJ. He's got that kill with the stun, but there's going to be a return snipe from Air to finish him off. Oh, man. Back and forth we go. They're not able to get that tier 2, and IG just start heading their way out.
Yeah, it's just the creep timing. Essentially, they couldn't get any quick tower damage with those illusions, and then that made it so that the Earthshaker just had to wait slightly patiently, and they can make that play happen. Really good movement from XTT, and yeah, he's got his BKB now, so like he can continue to make those plays without being like insta-hexed or Eul's up by the Dazzle, anything like that. He's going to be able to get that combo off every time. And from there, where does he go? Does he actually go for the Aghanim Scepter here to really just pack more punch with it? We've seen Veil of Discord. I don't know, maybe some utility items to keep his allies alive? Like, I'm not sure exactly how offlane Earthshaker builds at this point in time.
Yeah, this is a good question. And there is what appears to be some decent dunk opportunities, so amplifying that might not be out of the question. And we'll have to see if indeed that is what he goes for. And for Air, got a couple of quick kills there. He's looking to go for a Scotty next, it looks like, as he has already the one ultimate orb, so he's going to hold off on finishing out the Mjolnir for now. But putting together some damage seems to be a really big thing here for HyperGlory team, because IG can't really kind of close the gap to get to him. They kind of have their arms full with the Slark, with a jumping in Earthshaker, with an Overgrowth in their face. You know, it's going to be hard for them to kind of breach through all that and get a hold of a sniper. So if he has big damage to work with, it could prove to be a bit of trouble here for IG.
I'm really surprised about the Slark Manta pick. Like, I guess you can dodge quite a few projectiles here. The Chaos Bolt, the Spawn Spiderlings, maybe an E-Blade when that comes through. But it's still like a pickup that you don't really get that much out of. He might be able to throw out some Slark Illusions to push out the lanes when it's not safe, and that's all nice. But other than that, invulnerability dodge, just Scotty is overall a superior item. So it is kind of sad that he has to go this route, but it's what he feels he needs to do. So we'll see the Manta in his hands. And we actually have another Shadow Blade on the field. Like, because they took the Gem of True Sight away from Kaka, this actually becomes a good item again. But Ferrari is actually rocking the ex-BKB Lothar's Queen of Pain.
Yeah, sometimes you'll see it in Queen of Pain, your Lina. I guess just being able to get that sneaky pick and that better positioning. And as you've already pointed out, you know, without them having that gem, you can get away with it here. And it looks like they're also going to be able to get away with taking down this Roche. Pretty snappy. They have a medallion, again, more heal bombs and whatever. There's really not much that HyperGlory team could do about it. I mean, they're going to try to smoke up here and maybe try to head that direction, thinking that they could pull out a contention, but there's going to be the message, and you can just see by their body language, they're like, okay, never mind. They just pull back and look to go elsewhere instead. Nope, never mind. Yeah. It's been done. So, CSMJ, though, look at him. He is going deep. He's going to see Burning and Chuan here. Maybe if it was just Chuan, it'd be a better target, but he's not going to get anything from that. He's going to take time to farm instead. So, yeah, and also Luo, he's going to be going for what looks like a BKB. He's got Ogre Club at about 3k gold, not straight to the S-Blade like we were maybe anticipating, but stepping off for that bit of extra survivability instead.
Yeah. It's hard to break high ground against Disruptor without having a BKB at all, and Earthshaker also makes it quite difficult. So, yeah, I can understand definitely why they just kind of say, okay, mass BKBs, and that's our answer. And if they just got the one on Chaos Knight. Ferrari's is still pretty fresh. 7 seconds is not great, but it's probably sufficient for him. Get that one out on Brood, and you can start forcing that key objective. But That Shadow Blade, one thing that a lot of people don't recognize with the potential for Shadow Blade for Queen of Pain, ZSMJ, burning invis. Oh, this is not good if you can't Manta dodge it.
Okay, knocks him in the face, gets a 3-second stun, immediate living armor, and he just kind of will shadow dance himself back towards the base side.
Yeah.
Schwan wasn't very close to be able to get there to really help out, and I don't know if he would have really been able to do much to help out, but, you know, they are able to scare ZSMJ out from their woods and back to his base, I suppose.
But yeah, so the Shadow Blade on Queen of Pain, if she Shadow Blades to get into the fight, to get that Scream and Sonic Wave up, that means she has that blink off cooldown to immediately blink out. So essentially, she's able to get into the fight with the Shadow Blade, and then use the blink to disengage as she, or chase as she will, if you're winning a fight versus if you're uncertain about it. So with the BKB and with the essentially 0-second cooldown blink in the context of initiation, I actually think that Ferrari has a lot of ways to make the fights happen. So yeah, I'm anticipating some really cool plays from him, but at least for right now, they're just gonna take out that kind of last outer sentinel for the side of the Radiant, taking out that tower, and pretty much close in for the chokehold. At this point, with the BKBs up, looks like everybody, but oh yeah, Lewis got his on the courier, so I don't know why it's going home, but once they get the BKB out off that courier, then they can make their push to finish things off. But HGT pick up another gem.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And I hear a relocate coming in as they see Pretty Ha. He was just trying to do a simple D ward. They're like, nope, don't do that. Get an easy kill on him. They take down his ward, and they'll just kind of hold on to that bit of vision here. And thankfully, that wasn't the gem immediately being handed over. Kaka's the one who does hold it. But you can see IG are just not looking to give anything easy back here to Hyperglory team. Though I do have to say, it was a very dominant start from IG, and what we thought was going to be a very quick game, and we would be hopping to a game 3 quick. You know, Hyperglory team have been able to hold their own, and breaking high ground here when you're going against this kind of a team, you know, an Earthshaker, a Tree, even Disruptor. You know, this is not going to be easy. This is going to be a whole new challenge in itself for IG to be able to break into the base. If they can't do it by leading in with at least some sort of big fight where they get a pick or two, it's going to be a challenge. And Hyperglory team are looking to build up their fortification and their defense as much as possible. And it looks like Sniper is getting pretty damn close to his Scotty. Obviously, I would anticipate he's going to be saving up for buyback first and foremost. But once he gets that Scotty, he's going to have that bit of extra stats and all that big slope.
He'll finish it out. Scotty is one of those items where it actually can be considered a replacement for buyback in the sense that it gives you so much tank. Like, because it's a good defensive item and it increases your chance of not dying in the first place, there are many situations where you buy out for it just because you're going to be able to increase your potential so much. Like, the kind of spread of stats from Ultimate Orb to Point Booster, it makes it so inefficient to have only one of those components on in one of your 6 slots. But you combine it all together, you get something that gives you the tank. And as long as he positions well, it's not like he's going to get nether swapped into a bad spot. He can BKB the Reality Rift, and he should be able to just kind of sit between the tier 3 and tier 4s and fire away. So I think the Scotty will give him sufficient tank to consider this he's not vulnerable when he buys out like this.
So IG just continue to try to get the most out of this map and farm up. It does allow more time for Hyperglory team to do a bit of the same. They don't, you know, easily have access to nearly as much farm as IG does at this point. But it's only kind of delaying out the inevitable where IG are going to eventually look to make their strike. And, you know, the sketchy thing is they say that the Broodmother does tend to fall off a bit. I mean, obviously we haven't seen Luo be quite as impactful. I mean, he did his job in the early game, certainly so. But this is where it can be a bit tricky. I mean, Broodmother's not one to really throw herself into the base and have an advantage there because, you know, she's already going to be starved for her webs and everything. I am curious to see what kind of impact this Broodmother is going to make because as the clock does tick, so is the effectiveness of this Broodmother. So they're just hoping that they can build up a lot more here on the Ferrari Queen of Pain and, of course, Burning on his Chaos Knight, who has a big amount of gold here, nearly 5K. I think this might be the heart here, Blaze, that he's saving up for.
Yeah. Yeah, finally going to be able to make it that way. Definitely going to use at least one more Midas Transmute, and then he has to make the decision of selling the Moneymaker or selling the drums. Both are pretty valuable here, but yeah, you definitely have to make your upgrade to Heart in the long term. And great observer ward coming out here. This is a very nice ward. I want to just spend a quick minute on, since it does look like there's not going to be too much action. But essentially, they know they're up against Gem of True Sight. They see the possibility of wanting to have map vision, but don't want to be giving up any vision. If you look at Ferrari right now, he doesn't see this ward. He knows a Treant was here, but he not only doesn't pick him off, but he doesn't know where the ward was. So he's looking, but the Gem of True Sight is not finding this ward because it's in such a sneaky spot on this high ground. So this ward is going to stay despite being up against a gem, and it's actually extremely high level support play to know the exact spots you need to ward up against a gem that's scouting the map constantly. So yeah, they get that vision, and it might prove pretty valuable.
That is actually a great thing to point out. I've never really noticed a ward like that, and very, I don't want to say almost innovative, but it's definitely the right call to make. You get that sweet extra bit of intel without too much of a cost, knowing that they're going to have the gem on the other side, and we'll see how valuable it's going to be for them, and we'll see if he finds any other little
my other
spots.
favorite anti-gem ward is down over here on in the Radiant Northern Jungle. It's like you can get it right behind those trees, and it'll still give that same kind of angle on the opposite side.
Oh, nice. Very cool stuff. And we'll have to see if he'll look to reach for more of those or not. But they're obviously still pretty turtled up at this point, as they, outside of that ward, are still in the dark. I mean, it's not scouting anything out there right now, and IG are just kind of still working with the most of this map. Just starving, and trying to starve Hyperglory team even more, and that way they're just going to be at an immaculate point where there's really no contention. And okay, it's not the heart, it's going to be a Scotty, because this is the meta, Blaze. Scotty's good on everyone, apparently. I mean,
Scotty is good on everybody. That's been the metagame for 10 years, dude. I love fucking Scotty, but Chaos Knight is one of those heroes where I would call it iffy. I mean, 40 strength going to all your illusions, that's not only HP, that's 100% damage going to them. 40 damage for each illusion. You multiply that by 4, that's a very spicy pickup for him. Going for the Scotty, you get 25 out of that 40, but you also get some chase potential, faster attack speed for your main hero, and more mana to work with. I'm not feeling it compared to the heart, but I guess you can say Porque Lonos Dos, get both of them, and then you'll just be as tanky as all hell.
Yeah, I mean, one could probably make the argument, maybe a noob like me can make the argument, you trade out the Shadow Blade for an SMY, you trade out the Scotty for a heart, and you still get a wealth of stats. It's not like you need to use a crazy amount of mana on the hero as it is, and you get your slow from the main still, but you know, he's got his thing building up right here, and it's not like we have many Chaos Knights nowadays to really compare it to, so he's looking to make something here and make a stand with this Scotty. And we'll have to see if it's going to be enough for him to really push himself into the Hyperglory base. And I'm sure he wants to also hope with a bit of RNG that he'll get the most out of that Phantasm to really help that out. But we might see Hyperglory team as they inch out from their front door here. They have to be careful. Ferrari's here with a gem. He's going to scout him. They're going to get the Hex on the Kaka. Relocate coming in thereafter. Kaka going to get forced away, but he still goes down. That's their gem already on the deck. ZSMJ able to pounce and get it back into the baseline. Air is forced to use his BKB to get back in to safety. So IG are able to come out with a one-man pick right there. Is this enough for IG to now make a push happen? Tree's going to be out for 45 seconds with no buyback.
Yeah, the creeps are not in a great position because of backdoor protection and such. Bottom lane's being pushed in. They're probably actually like almost lose that tier 2 tower just because of how many creeps and siege are there. They've stacked up pretty hard, but yeah, it looks like they're just gonna leave it at that. And if you look at their inventories, they've got 2 gems on Dazzle, 1 on Queen of Pain. Like, the gems are certainly in IG's control.
It's ridiculous. I don't know. As of recent, I've seen so many gems throw over the place in these kind of games, and they're not looking to really be too cautious about throwing him off the tech. Now he only has 1. Okay, he gave it to the courier. He's going to take it back to base. So, all right. Well, it's got to be a bit disheartening there for Hyperglory team, as they just picked up that kind of gem, and we're hoping to use it to their favor. And he doesn't even get to go out too far from the front door, and he already loses it. So that just kind of shows the pressure that IG have already built up this whole game, and we're still seeing Hyperglory team just kind of hang inside their baselines. But as long as they got this kind of a lineup, they feel confident and strong with their defense. It's just a matter of waiting out the clock until IG do decide to make their strike. I mean, now they're pushing past the 25k net worth advantage and 30k as far as XP goes. I mean, it's not really big a surprise, as IG have had what feels like 85-90% of the map, but it's as far as knowing how far you need to take it before you finally feel comfortable as making that push. It might come after getting this Aegis here, which this has got to be like, what, the 4th Roche, I believe, this game? Maybe 5th?
Yeah. This is the 2nd cheese, so 4th Roche, and he's got to do some work. I mean, obviously, IG are starting to taper a little bit, wavering with 6 seconds on one BKB, and I think Blue has used his twice, just the once, but still, yeah. They really have to push in with this one. I would even say Lua buy out for the E-Blade. He's already got the Eagle Song, but finish the E-Blade and go in for the kill with that one. With the cheese and the kind of pseudo-satanic you get from Insatiable Hunger, he should consider himself survivable enough, and they could just go in for the kill. It's actually Dazzle with an Aghanim Scepter, and this is actually going to be a pretty great sieging tool. Yeah. Go in, but weave out on everybody, and just wait for it to tick through. About 5 to 10 seconds after you put that a buff on your team, you go in and fearlessly try to take the high ground. With 3 BKBs and that big of a weave, HGT just do no damage.
It is going to bring them down so much. And you get that little quick bit of vision as well when you want to see what the hell is actually happening on that high ground. So, and I believe the downtime between its duration and when it's up again is also pretty damn small. I mean, it's already a pretty low cooldown at 40 seconds, and it lasts for 24 seconds. So you pretty much have it at the ready or already applied for a lot of the time. And IG now, they'll get these lanes pushed back towards Hyperglory team's side. Now that they have this Aegis, they know that they just got to get all the lanes back the other way, and then they can look to make a possible push happen here. And there's going to be the E-Blade complete along with a dagger here. So your Broodmother pretty much buying out at this point. I mean, it could mean that now he'll just farm up for a buyback just in case, and we could be waiting another couple of minutes here, but I do want to play this one safe, and to be honest with you, Blaze, I'm not surprised. It's an elimination match for them. If they somehow slip this one up and it doesn't go, they're out. There's no more Summit 3 for them. And Hyperglory team, they're going to hold on, because if they can somehow pull out a comeback, then they move forward and they pull out a huge upset. So people might see this and they'd be like, oh, it's Chinese Dota, Resident Sleeper. It's so slow and dull and boring, but this is a big deal. It's a big game for one of the biggest Western tournaments outside of TI, and it's elimination series. So, you know, get that pillow ready, do whatever you got to do. You know, we might be in for a long haul, but it's understandable.
In my book, this game still has it all. Like, the way we got to see the first 15 minutes play out with all that aggression, like, that was full CIS mode right there. So, yeah, I'd have to say that we get the tactical, careful strategy of the kind of traditional Chinese Dota. Along with that, it's like just crazy combat in the earlier stages. So that's really nice. Some people are mentioning that agility increases the attack speed for the Chaos Knight illusions, and that's a factor, but it's really not changing Chaos Knight's like overall trajectory. Like right now, he's able to right now go with the Manta style. That gives him the attack speed he needs, the movement speed he needs. He gets rid of the Shadow Blade, and we're waiting for him to just pop the armlet and go in with the Phantasm. Like with that, he should be fine. But up top, they're actually scouting out with Shrapnel. They find Ferrari.
Oh, he's going to get trapped in kinetic field. Moving on forward now as his BKB pop looking they can go into Westbrook. They get the relocate in. Kaka, he's going to be able to drop out the Overgrowth. They lose the Earthshaker, but he immediately buys back. They get a nice static storm onto Ferrari. He does blink back in a way. Is there a glimpse? There is. They bring Ferrari right back into the fight and towards the SMJ, and they're going to get the kill onto him. Dominating now for Air. IG, they got to get the hell back. And Hyperglory team, this is their chance. They continue fighting on forward. They might get Faith. Oh, the Pounce actually not going to connect. He does pop up the Ghost Scepter, gets that weave off. That's an Agnum's weave, mind you. So as time goes on, they're going to lose a lot of armor. Meanwhile, on the backside, you're going to see Chuan and Burning looking to come in. They can cut off the SMJ here. He's got to use the Shadow Dance. Glimpse is going to put Burning away from Chuan. Chuan could go down here. Nope. They'll be fine. They're going back into the base. Ferrari back from the dead. Suddenly already inside their base. They get the pullback on the Kaka. He's going to get force pulled away. The Phantasm is all the way out and about now. It's the Horse Army. He's going to look to fly on through. Burning, trying to make a go onto the Sniper. Now they turn back. They're going for the tier 3. The Glyph is going to get popped here. Chuan moves in, gets Air. They'll take him down. He has no buyback. He's out for 80 seconds. He must have bought out. He did for the MKB. Oh, man. So they're going to get this tier 3. Lul gets another pick as he brings down what looks like the Slark. Pretty is the only survivor here, and he's going to be forced and bounced right back into the fountain. Top racks are down, Blaze. Now they're going for the second, and that's game, just like that.
Just incredible how they're able to turn it around. That was a really dicey situation up on the top lane when they got initiated on, but they still persevere through it. They get the reinforcements and kind of bait HGT out of this little nook. Like I was saying, if the sniper's just sitting there at his tier 4s, defending his high ground like he wants to be, then he actually has no trouble at all. But being out in the midst of the battle, that's where he has some real issues. And yes, the Monkey King bar was necessary against the insatiable hunger, but ideally you're not getting right-clicked anyways. Like you just have to stay back. And it just doesn't, they don't get the option once they're forced out of their comfort zone right there. So IG, they play it, play the long game, but they play it well, and now we're going to game 3. Just a nail-biter to the bitter end.
Yeah, absolutely, and I have to agree with you from what you said before. That game did have it all. It was very action-packed at the start. You got to remember how dominant Lua was in that bottom lane. They pretty much had the best of all 3 lanes there, it felt like, for a while. But then, even with that big advantage, you could just see there's that bit of hesitation as the sniper had some farm, and it's just not that easy to break into the base. So they just slowly rice farmed their way, and eventually they just had their opportunity there, and it was enough to end the game at what felt like a drop of a hat. So there it is. We're going to be moving into a game number 3 now between IG and Hyperglory team. The winner of this next match moves forward. The loser, their Summit 3 journey ends. Should be an awesome one. I'm KotLGuy. That's Blaze. We'll be back in a moment with more Dota action. Please sit tight.